Hello and welcome to TMR Talks. Today we are going to discuss about the initial public offering, that is IPO of Nazara Technology. It has a very unique and a different business model, so it's going to be very interesting to understand about this company. Before we proceed ahead, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do that. We keep coming up with videos related to financial analysis, economic study, IPO study, etc. Now let us start with Nazara Technology. So this is a India-based diversified gaming and esports media platform. Okay, let me simplify this for you. So these are the 5 different segments in which the company has been operating, and we will try to understand what do they do under each of them. So the first one, which is gamified early learning. Under this they have a app called as Kiddopia. So Kiddopia is a subscription-based app and it caters to children between 2 to 6 years of age. Now under this what they do is they have been delivering learning experience which ranges to different things such as mathematics, language, general knowledge, creativity. So all of this is taught to the students in a fun way, in a creative way through games. Now as you can see over here, there is a rise in the number of subscribers from FY18 to current till date. Secondly, the people who have been taking the trial of this app, 74% of them are getting converted, and here is the retention ratio for this app. The second domain that they have been operating is esports. Now esports is a domain under which professional gamers are actually watched by other gamers and their fans while the event is going on, and these events are streamed on TV and different OTT platforms. Now this company has been organizing this esports competition. So at a small level also they have like small tournaments, and then they have national level and state level esport competitions. So how do they get money over here? So they get money through these OTT platforms on which this have been streamed. TV people have been paying them, plus game publishers. There are different game publishers who want to come and advertise and speak about their games. So they pay, and there are certain brands who also pay. So here the number of clients or partners for this company have increased from 8 to 36 in the last 4 years. So they have actually partnered with this company called as Nordwind Gaming. It is a South Asia's leading esports company. Then there is Sportskeeda. So this is the largest esports news destination in India. So they have different kind of content. It is related to esports and also our traditional sports such as cricket, soccer, WWE, and all that information is also available. The third segment is telco subscription. Under this, there are certain games and content which is provided to the customers of these telecom operators. So basically a customer either subscribes to the service directly or else makes the payment while downloading the app, and the telecom operators are managing the billing, and the revenue is eventually split between the telecom operator and the company. Now as of 31st December 2020, they had 1021 Android games under telco subscription model business, and they distributed it to 58 countries, and they have arrangement with 52 different telecom operators. The fourth is freemium. Now through freemium we understand that something is given for free. So there are these games which people can download and they can play it freely, but after a certain level what happens is they need to pay if they want certain extra services or some extra features of a game. They need to make the payment. So that is done, but the percentage is very low. Here mainly the revenue is generated through advertisement, and a small amount is through in-app purchase. Now that small amount right now as of September 2020 is 22%, but the company is planning to focus this. So right now talking about the Indian markets, people are a little hesitant towards making the payment for downloading an app or any feature. But if we talk about other markets, then this is something which is very common over there. So I'll just give you an example of a game which falls under this freemium category. There is a game called as WCC. You might have heard of a game called as FIFA. So this is a game which is related to soccer, and the company which has this game, they generate revenue around $1 billion globally. Now this particular game, which is WCC, it is related to cricket, and the company has been focusing on expanding it in other geographies as well, where there are cricket fans mainly. And currently this company has 15 million subscribers, and they spend on an average 46 minutes per day on this app. So this is actually a very good metric to understand how much time are people giving on your app or on your service. So here also, if we together see that on the overall freemium mobile games, how much time people are spending, so it is actually increasing from 26 to 41, which is a good sign. And then there is a very small segment right now for the company, which is the real money gaming. So you might have heard of Dream 11, right, where people are actually betting and they get the money if their bet goes right, etc. So in the similar way, they have a few games, but right now they are very cautious over here. They are not really planning to expand because there are a lot of rules and regulations, and they think that this might get them into some trouble, or even if they expand and the rules and regulations change, they might have to withdraw it. So they are not really planning to expand this at the moment until there is clarity on how things will be in the future for this particular segment. And this is the segment wise revenue. So as you can see, the first segment which we spoke about, the gamified learning, is the main segment which is giving them revenue, and then there is esports. Telco subscription has actually come down, that business has come down. I'll tell you the reason after some time. And then there is freemium and real money gaming. According to the company, the growth is currently driven by the gamified learning, esports and freemium. So freemium is still having a very small chunk which they are planning to expand. The strategic expansion plan of the company has always been to acquire new companies, and they are constantly on a lookout for such companies who have been doing good in this space. Now, while doing this acquisition, they look at different pointers such as what kind of opportunity does the new company bring in, the kind of moat the business has, and especially the leadership that they have, right? So these are the aspects they look at, and the most crucial pointer here is that they need to have IPs. So they have been working on increasing the intellectual properties constantly. The entire gaming industry is in a growth phase, and India is also joining the party. Here are a few charts for you to make understand how big the opportunity over here is. This is about esports market. So esports is also growing, and if you look at this chart, we clearly understand that Nazara is the dominant player when it comes to Indian esports market. So far we have understood the business model of the company, the segments that they have, the products they have, plus the overall industry growth, etc. Now it's time to look at the money or the revenue that the company is making. So this is the revenue. The revenues of the company are improving. Now, especially for half year 21, the revenue is around 80% of what they made in the entire year of 2020. So all of us know that the entire entertainment industry had actually a good time back then because of Corona. But the question is whether this will continue. But we already saw certain key matrix related to the business which has been improving, and it has been in an uptrend for esports, for gamified learning, plus for freemium they have been in the phase of increasing it. So the matrix are really good. Coming to the EBITDA margins. So the EBITDA margins have actually dropped. So there are two things. You remember I told you about the telco subscription business wherein they have certain arrangements with the telecom operator, and that's how they have been able to sell their games, subscription to their games, etc. So what happened is, in India, after the entry of Jio, the Indian markets were actually disrupted and impacted, and that is why right now they have been operating in other geographies only. That's one reason for the market EBITDA margins to drop. Secondly, their advertisement and promotion cost has gone up drastically. So from 15% in FY19, it has gone up to 47% in FY20, and as of half year 21, it is 56%. So that's one reason. I'll tell you what the management had to say about their EBITDA margins in their analyst meet. So they have mentioned that right now they are very much focused on the long-term growth prospects. So currently they are not really focusing on improving the margins, which is understood. But the point of concern that I have is their main segment, which is gamified early learning, is not making profitable EBITDA. So it's a negative EBITDA basically that they have. Real money gaming is also having a negative EBITDA, but as we saw, it's a very small segment. But gamified early learning, which has a 40% revenue, is not making the positive EBITDA. So this is a point of concern according to me. Plus, they have declared dividends in the year 2018. It was a profitable year. They have declared dividend, which is a good sign. So in the future, if there is profits, we can expect dividend. Also, the company is a debt-free company, which is again a good pointer. This is the earning per share, but since the last 2 years the earnings have dropped, we do not have any PE, and right now we do not have any valuation matrix as such because there is no listed players. Secondly, the company is a loss making company, so anyways there are certain things which we could have calculated, but now it is not possible to really calculate it. I'll tell you a few offer details. So the company is going for a complete offer for sale, which is 582 crores. And the issue will be going on from 17th to 19th of March, and the issue price is 1100 to 1101. Now towards the end, I would like to tell you and highlight on a few important and crucial factors that you must know when we think about the gaming business or gaming industry as a whole. Now this particular sector actually has a certain kind of entry barriers. I'll tell you what do I mean by this. So we might think that, tomorrow any company can come with a good funding and they might be able to capture the market, but that's not the case over here really, because it's a game of probability. Now the developers and the team which is behind developing this entire game, making this entire games, they are themselves not really sure of how is the market going to react to it. So according to the promoter of the company, he himself, the management of the company, he himself was saying that it is very difficult to gauge how the market is going to react to a particular product that we are going to come up with. So that way the company has made themselves very safe because they have a 20-year history in running this business. They have diversified their business in 5 different domains. Plus, the most important part is they have been acquiring the best companies in this entire domain. So not just the companies, but specifically they have been looking at the companies with a good management. So which is a point to be noted. This is very crucial. Now coming to the final question, whether I will be investing in this company. So the answer is not at the moment. So I would like to understand how does the market behave, since the markets are also choppy right now. And of course there is a trend of gaming in the overall market globally and in Indian markets as well, but it is crucial to understand whether the company is moving in the directions of making any profits. Will there be any signs of profit? So in the future, as and when we go ahead, when we have certain quarterly results, etc., we will see what is the strategy of the company. If we think that there are certain signs of the company which will actually make them profitable, because right now I told that gamified learning is also having a negative EBITDA. So if there is anything that they do which is towards making profits, then I think it will be better for us to go ahead and invest, and it will be very much clear as well. That's it from my side regarding this IPO. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, then please feel free to write us in the comment section. Thank you so much and stay tuned.